Looking for a delicious and nutritious vegan idea? Trying to reduce your meat intake but still want to eat plates of comforty goodness? Ever wondered how to turn a favourite classic into a healthier delight? Stick around because today we're transforming shepherd's pie into a nutritious vegan shepherd's pie. And what food are you going to be trying today, Rissy? We're going to find out. So as always, we'll be answering those questions and so much more as we look at how to replace lamb mince without losing the lovely food hug we get from a shepherd's pie. What classic comfort food do you love? Is there anything you want a new recipe for that has a focus on including as many healthy nutrients as possible? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hi, I'm the Jolly Spud and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at one of the all-time British classics, shepherd's pie, and how we can turn it into something plant-based. This means we might have to change the name. What are lentils before they become lentils? The ultimate legume pie doesn't quite have the same ring to it. I hope you're okay with the name staying as vegan shepherd's pie. Then hopefully after you have given it a go, you'll be happy to give it a positive adjective, just as I've done in the title. So join me as we balance flavours and boost health benefits, making your favourite dishes tastier and better understood as we make the ultimate vegan shepherd's pie. Comfort food reinvented. Okay, so let's get started now. So we're going to be building the flavour. So the first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be dry toasting some whole herbs and spices. So we saw some bay leaves go in, we've got some dried chilli, some cloves, whole cloves, one whole star anise, and then a tablespoon of cumin seed. So that's just going to be dry toasting, so no oil in there, but at a low heat. Then getting started with slicing some onions. And then while you're doing this, if you can start to smell the spices quite a lot, then you can turn down the heat or turn off the heat until you're ready to add the oil and the onions and the leek there. So with these vegetables, we don't need to worry too much about how big we're slicing them. So they are going to reduce in size by quite a bit. So not to worry too much about the size. So once we've got the leek chopped, we're then going to add the leek and the onions to the saucepan, so along with some oil. And then you can get the heat up quite high now, so this starts to sweat out. Now moving on to the celery. So we've got 4 big sticks here, and then just slicing that again, not worrying too much about the size. And then once that's sliced, that's going into the saucepan as well. Give that a nice good old stir. Very good. And then onto some carrots. So I'm doing 5 carrots, as you can see here, but as I'm going to talk about in a minute or so, this is more than the recipe that's written down on jollyspud.com, and this is because this flavour base, we're going to use it for another meal, so for the next video. Talk more about that later. So slicing up the carrots again, not too big, not too small, and then getting those added and chucked in, and then a nice big stir. And then for so many of my recipes, we're getting so much flavour from garlic and chili. Okay, now onto the tofu. So if you're just doing this dish without wanting to save some for tacos, I'll just use the 2 blocks. I've got 4 blocks there, which is an unreasonable amount of tofu for one dish, and as we'll see, it crumbles up to quite a lot. So I did press the tofu. So I do have a tofu press, but not one that's big enough for 4 pieces of tofu, so I just used a plate, 2 plates, and then I put a big saucepan with water on top, and then that pressed out quite a lot of the liquid. So using smoked tofu, again, because that just has a little bit more flavour than the plain tofu, and then we can see just crumbling it up quite nice and easily with my hands. That's not too tricky to do at all. So once that's all crumbled up, again, that's going to get chucked into the saucepan, so we can see the saucepan's now very full, and then this is where one of the reasons why I thought I could use this mix for something else is because there's not enough space for the lentils, which we're going in a minute. We can now got some dried spices going in, so we've got a tablespoon of curry powder, paprika, ground star anise, and some mixed herbs there as well. So we're going to cook this out. So what I mean by cooking it out is you kind of heat it on a high heat for a bit, then you add a bit of water, then that kind of makes sure the spices are cooked through. So now on to removing quite a lot of the mixture there. So that's one of my bigger Tupperware tubs. Getting that removed, and then we'll be using that for my next video, which is going to be tofu tacos. Okay, so now going to be building up a bit more flavour. So we've got the main event there, which is the tofu and the lentils. The lentils will be going in a minute. Getting a bit more flavour in there, so that is some soy sauce, and then just a little bit of white wine vinegar, just a bit of acidity to help balance everything out. Then even more paprika, and then some red wine, so that's about 100 ml of just leftover red wine. And yeah, the red wine really does add lots and lots of great flavour to the dish, so definitely an ingredient that you can't not add. Then yeah, in go the lentils. So yeah, I'm using red lentils, but so then added some stock. So some liquid went in there, so that was some stock. So it was just vegetable stock and mushroom stock, so just 1 cube of each, and then added some water as well. So on to the potato. So again, this is going to make way too much mash for just this one dish, but you know, if you're doing something, it's always good to do it in bulk. So yeah, sweet potatoes are pretty big, so I've kind of gone for a roughish 1 to 1 to 1 ratio, maybe a little bit more potatoes. So 1 part celeriac, 1 part sweet potato, and 1 part, well, 1 and a bit part potatoes. And yeah, not peeling them because, as we'll talk about later, that's just nutrients down the drain. Don't want to be throwing away nutrients, as yeah, it's all good stuff for your body, so you might as well eat it. So you're just getting these chopped up into chunks. I would say the only thing with this really is, as the celeriac takes the longest, you want that to be smaller chunks. Probably biggest chunks for potato, slightly smaller for sweet potato, and then when we get onto the celeriac, those should be the smallest chunks, because yeah, we're doing it in one pot, and you want it all to cook at the same time, so yeah, again, makes it easier. So yeah, with doing any boiling like this, you always want to start off with cold water, so cold salty water, bring it to the boil, and then once it's boiled, it is only 7-8 minutes for it to cook. Then yeah, draining the water, then we're adding just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of plant milk, I use about 50 ml in the end, and just a bit of salt. Yeah, you don't want to add too much salt, because I feel like mashed potato can absorb all the salt in the world and still taste like it needs more salt, but obviously that's not great for your health. So yeah, getting it mashed up, so it's quite a chunky mash, but I think that works quite nicely in this dish. And then yeah, I've got lots of leftovers, so this is just like 1 portion. So this is enough to serve 2 people, but yeah, the recipe on the website is to serve 6, and I'll be 6, yeah, very generous portions. So yeah, getting this in the dish, then flattening it out, and then yeah, using the fork to make nice little peaks, gives you some more crispy bits once it's in the oven. So yeah, this will go into the oven for a good amount of time, so it's about 35 minutes in the oven at 220 degrees, so that gives you nice crispy bits that you are definitely after. Okay, so out of the oven, and then just yeah, dishing it out, getting a nice chunk out, and then yeah, serving this with broccoli. So just steamed broccoli is a nice side for this dish, but yeah, also a salad would work well, yeah, if you're not in the mood for broccoli and it's starting to get a bit warmer, and salads help, you know, just lighten everything up. There we go, all done. So this is quite a long recipe with all of the cooking involved, especially with the extra bit of oven time, but it's definitely worth it, and there will be lots and lots of leftovers, either to make more vegan shepherd's pie or turn into tacos, as we will be doing in the future. So as we've seen from the kitchen, the 3-step cooking process was used for making the pie. Building the flavour, main event, topping twist. We started by building the flavour. As we didn't use the lamb mince, we missed out on getting lots of flavour from one ingredient. And we can't simply swap the lamb for the lentils and the tofu, as plant-based protein sources contain much less fat, which is excellent for your health, but fat means flavour when it comes to cooking. So we had to build flavour using lots of different ingredients instead. Not only did we add some dried herbs and spices, but we also added leeks, carrots and celery, and all have great health benefits for you. So starting off with the leeks. Leeks have loads of great nutrition and are exceptionally high in manganese, vitamin A, C and K. They also contain lots of manganese, which your body needs, but only in very small amounts. Manganese may be good for treating inflammatory disorders, regulating blood sugar, and decreasing the risk of health conditions like a stroke. Sadly, there's no goodness in them if you are a dog. Sorry, Rissy. As leeks are part of the alum family, which includes all the onions, chives, and garlic. This family of vegetables is also poisonous to cats. This is a common fact that I'm sure every cat and dog owner knows, but if you don't have a pet, you might not be aware of this. So it's always best to check with the owner if you can give a cat or a dog any human food, as you could be accidentally poisoning them. which we don't want, Rissy. You're looking quite sad by that. So on to carrots, which Rissy, you can have. Rissy, I've got some carrots. What's this? Good girl. Not overly keen with the carrots there. So they are a good natural treat, and most dogs love the taste. Rissy, most dogs love the taste, but you're not most dogs, are you? And they have the same health benefits for your favourite dog friend as they also have for you. So yeah, carrots have lots of beta carotene, which gives them that lovely bright orange colour. They also have fibre, vitamin K, potassium, and of course antioxidants. Carrots have been linked to weight loss, lowering cholesterol levels, and improving eye health. The eye health stat is not a myth. Your body converts the beta carotene into vitamin A, which is needed for healthy eyesight. Yeah, do you want healthy eyesight? Doesn't look like it. Then the final flavour building ingredient we added was celery. One of the many benefits of celery is that it supports digestion. Due to its anti-inflammatory nature, it helps protect the entire digestive tract. But really, it really does help out the stomach. So pectin-based polysaccharides in celery have been shown to decrease stomach ulcers, improve stomach lining, and modulate stomach secretion in animal studies. Plus, there is a whopping 5 grams of fibre per cup. So dogs can also benefit from this fibre, as celery is safe for dogs. Can I give it a little go? It's a small bit. Good girl. Ooh, good girl. But yeah, it has to be chopped into very small pieces, as they can struggle with the stringy nature. So these are very, very tiny pieces of celery. That I've cut off a Rissy there. And yeah, you can't have too much of it because it can cause stomach upset. So I guess you can have too much of a good thing, Rissy. Another little bit. Good girl. Ooh. Nice, nicely done. Okay, so on to the main event and taking a closer look at the benefits of using a tofu lentil mix over lamb. We've gone over how to pack loads of flavour into the dish, but are we getting the same amount of protein? Almost. I don't think you're going to notice the difference, as it's only 0.8 grams in this dish after comparing the nutritional content using a handy food app. There is also a calorie difference of about 60 calories less for the vegan option. And this is because, yeah, there's a lot less fat. This kept the recipe, so yeah, I kept the recipe the same, I just changed the protein sources when I was finding that out. So comparing the lentil tofu mix with two different types of lamb mince, 20% and 10% fat, we can see that per 100 grams, there's nothing in it, only a gram. Overall in this dish, you're getting just under 20 grams of protein, which is just under half of your recommended daily intake. Which is really good to get from one meal. Oh, it's good to see Rissy likes the celery. So we can also compare the fat content to see that the plant-based option is very good. Even the 10% fat lamb mince is much better than the 20%. And finally, we can compare saturated fat. Again, the plant-based option is very low, which is another excellent reason for having a meat-free meal. Then the final thing we're going to compare is the fibre, and there's no need to draw a graph for this one, as the lamb comes out at 0, and the lentil tofu mix has omega 12 grams per 100 grams of food. So yeah, overall for this dish, the total fibre from all the vegetables as well as the lentils and the tofu will be at a very tasty 11 grams, which is around 40% of the current daily recommendations, which is amazing. You're not liking the carrots at all today, puppy, are we? Okay, so onto the topping twist and looking at the health benefits of our trio of vegetables. One of the reasons for using 3 vegetables and not just one is that you always want to eat as many different fruits and vegetables a week as possible, aiming for 30 different sources if you can. But this also includes grains, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. It is all to boost the diversity and health of your gut microbiome, and something I'm going to talk about in most of these videos. So starting with the potatoes, might as well, there we go. Starting with the potatoes and how they might be able to improve blood sugar control. This is because they have resistant starch. The body doesn't break this down, instead it makes it all the way through the large intestine, where it becomes a source of nutrients for your beneficial bacteria. It has also been linked to reducing insulin levels, which again improves blood sugar control. She's a good girl. So yeah, so dogs are allowed to enjoy potatoes as well, but they need to be plainly cooked with no skins. So yeah, no added sugar or fat either. So yeah, to be cooked as raw potatoes, they do need to be cooked as raw potatoes contain solanine, which is toxic. And yeah, this is the same for sweet potatoes as well, only plainly cooked. You're liking potato, aren't you, Rissy? Even the big bits. Hey, yeah. So yeah, sweet potatoes have very similar health benefits compared with potatoes. They do have a little bit more fibre and antioxidants, but not too much. But they do have a lot of natural creaminess. And the final mash veg is celeriac, which has lots of vitamin K, which is needed for a healthy heart, and lots of potassium, which is good for neutralising the adverse effects of a high salt intake, which then will help also lower the risk of having a stroke. And then with all three of the vegetables, they weren't peeled, as so much of the nutrients is found in the peel. I don't know, maybe around 20-30%. So yeah, there's no point in just getting that, chucking that away. It's always good to keep. And then yeah, dogs can enjoy celeriac, but it needs lots of extra boiling, and again, no extras. And yeah, the high potassium levels are also good for Rissy, as well as your favourite dog friend. And it also contains lots of vitamin B11, which helps with dog digestion and the nervous system and energy levels as well. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. The recipe is in the description below, and if you enjoyed the video, it would really mean a lot if you liked and subscribed. Tell a friend, as always, tell your dog friends. And if you want another tofu-based recipe to cook, then click over here. All right, catch you later.